Olá, tá aqui o novo episódio do Eurocomics, o seu canal do YouTube dedicado ao melhor do quadrinho europeu. E hoje apresentamos uma série britânica, As Aventuras de Julius Chancer, de autoria de Garen Ewing, que começou em 1997 com A Orquídea Arco-Íris, que a gente tem numa edição em espanhol contendo seus 3 volumes. Muito próxima da atmosfera dos filmes de Indiana Jones e inspirada no estilo Linha Clara, esta saga tem como personagem principal Julius Chancer. Sua história se passa nos anos 1920 e se inicia na Inglaterra, quando nosso herói, que é assistente de Sir Alfred Gatesby Grey, organiza uma épica viagem em busca da misteriosa orquídea arco-íris, mítica flor que teria sido mencionada pela última vez em citação do filósofo grego Teofrasto. E agora que você conheceu um pouco das aventuras de Julius Chancer, a gente tem a honra de falar com seu autor Garen Ewing. Hi, Garen Ewing. Hi.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. It's a pleasure to have you here at Eurocomics. You had already given us an interview on our old website in 2014, and now you return to talk about your series, The Adventures of Julius Chancer, a clear line comic book series in the best tradition of Hergé and Edgar Pierre Jacobs style. Could you please tell us how you became interested in this universe, which is more Franco-Belgian than British?
Yes, well, as a kid, Asterix and Tintin books were available everywhere, as well as, of course, loads of British comics. But I really loved those albums. And my mum bought me 1 year for Christmas, I'd get a Tintin book. The next year I'd get Asterix, then Tintin, then Asterix, and slowly I built up a collection. But I absolutely loved them. And because I loved Tintin so much from those early days, anything with that format, not just the books, the albums, which in the UK, we didn't get hardbacks, they were softback books. If I found anything like that, I'd buy it and want to read it. And also the style. So there wasn't much else. But when I found Blake and Mortimer eventually, or Yoko Tsuno, those kind of things,
Yoko Tsuno by Roger
That's
Leloup.
right. Yes, lovely stuff.
There are already 4 Julius Chancer adventures published. We recently read The Secret of the Samurai, published by B.D. Must in French in 2020. Could you please talk a little bit about this comic book and how your knowledge of martial arts, since you are a karate practitioner, influenced this story about a samurai armor that gets replaced by a forgery while being exhibited in a museum?
Yes, that's right. I've always loved the Japanese aesthetic.
Seemed like Yoko Tsuno.
Yes, well, but also their graphic style of those old Japanese prints, a very clear line. And I don't know which came first, Tintin or my attraction to Japanese prints. One may have informed the other. I think probably Tintin came first, almost certainly. And because I love that style, when you see it mirrored in something else, you're attracted to it. So yes. I started karate when I was 15, and that got me into more Japanese type stuff from that angle of things. Hand in hand went my graphical interest and my martial arts interest. I've always loved that samurai stuff. So I wanted to do a Julius Chancer related to Japan in some way. And I had a slight idea for a book. And at the time I was being published in a weekly comic here in the UK called The Phoenix, which is an excellent children's comic. And they were also interested in Julius Chancer. So I thought, well, I'll combine the two and see if they wanted to print something. So they said yes. So I had this idea for the book, but it was too long, so I had to cut it down. So which is why it's kind of short. It's a little bit cramped, I think. I wish I'd had more space to tell the story. But that's basically how that came about.
Would you please tell us a little bit about your experience with video games such as Curious Expedition 2?
Oh, yes. Well, I'd done a board game or a card game called The Lost Expedition, which is set in the Amazon forest. I did that in 2016, and it was quite successful. And they wanted my art because they'd seen Julius Chancer. They wanted that kind of style, adventure comics kind of style. Meanwhile, in Germany, there was this company who had made a game called Curious Expedition, and they wanted to update it to make Curious Expedition 2 with all new graphics. And one of the creators of that game, Johannes Christmann, wanted a sort of Tintin style to the artwork. And someone had given him the Lost Expedition, my board game I'd done, not related to it at all, just happened to have a similar name. And he really liked the art, so he asked if I'd try out for the computer game. I had a go, and he liked it. So that job actually lasted 3 years. I was full-time almost, doing all the art, or 95% of the artwork for that computer game. It was a big job.
Garen, could you also tell us anything about the 5th volume of the Adventures of Julius Chancer, the Brambletie box? When will it be published?
Well, that's a really good question that I can't answer.
By BD Must as well, I hope.
I don't know. At the moment, no one's committed to publishing it, and I haven't committed to anyone publishing it. It's going to take a while because I have to do Julius Chancer in my spare time at the moment, because it doesn't really bring in the money as much as I'd like. So obviously having a family to feed and all that kind of boring stuff,
I understand.
I need to make money. So I do commercial art, but I have started the Brambletie box more seriously. I'm trying to do a little bit every day. So bit by bit it gets done, and it's happening. I don't want to say. I mean, I think it's definitely not going to be in the next couple of years. It'll be, 3, 4, 5 years away. Who knows?
In your opinion, what is the best Tintin adventure? We also would like to know what is your favorite Blake and Mortimer album?
I like different books for different reasons. I think the Black Island is probably one of my favorites.
And the story of the Black Island takes place in England.
Yes. I also really like Tintin in Tibet and the Calculus Affair. It's hard, isn't it? Because they're all so good. But maybe those 3 are the ones I keep going back to. I like the adventure set in my own country of the Black Isle. And Tintin in Tibet I really love. There's so many. I'll start listing them all, so I'll stop there. What was the Blake and Mortimer? I think the Yellow Mark, La Marque Jaune, is fantastic. I think that's my favorite, probably. Yeah, I really enjoy the first Blake and Mortimer books. I think it was 3 albums, wasn't it?
Yes, 3 albums called The Secret of the Swordfish. And how about an adventure of Julius Chancer in Brazil? What if he visited Rio de Janeiro or the Amazon rainforest, or both of them?
That's very possible. Why not? I did actually think after the Brambletie box, I've always had in my head I'd like to do 3 stories. So the Rainbow Orchid, the Brambletie box, and then one more, at least. But I did think the 3rd one might be set in a very snowy Arctic place, so I could draw easy backgrounds. Everything would be white. That'd be nice, and it'd be quick.
So thank you very much, Garen, for giving us this interview. I hope you come back soon to Eurocomics.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.